Vemos a todos chicos, chicas, reyes, reinas, bienvenidos para el canal. Hoy continuamos con la misión legendaria de Furina. En el episodio anterior, básicamente una persona que trabaja en el teatro, por así decirlo, nos dijo que su actriz principal, la cantante, se había puesto mala. Bueno, ya estaba mala, pero le estaba pasando factura ahora. Y pues nos dijo que quería que le buscásemos una nueva actriz, ¿no? Para que pudiese participar. Nosotros pensamos en Furina. Ayer estuvimos aquí en la casa de Furina, que ahora vive aquí en una forma más humilde. Y nos dijo que no, que él ya no quería actuar porque, pues, evidentemente después de estar tanto tiempo actuando de Focalors y siendo la Arconte hidrofalsa, pues ella no quería volver a hacerlo, entonces pues no quiere actuar. Entonces tenemos que buscar a otra persona. A ver si tenemos suerte. Esa es la persona que quiere que...
I'll ask you again. Why did you start looking for a replacement without my consent? When did I tell you I'm going to take a step back?
Wow, muchas cosas rápidas. Este tío es el que quiere hacer la actuación, ¿vale? Pero es que, claro, el problema es que no quiere ni siquiera pagar a la actriz porque no tiene dinero, porque es un tío muy humilde. ¿Y por qué has decidido buscar a alguien por tu cuenta para sustituir cuando he dicho que no podía actuar?
You didn't need to say it. We've known each other for how long now? We know the signs. But you never tell us about your illness, even when it's clearly flaring up.
And that gives you the right to make a decision on my behalf?
Shortly after you left, the troupe's lead actress came to the Adventurers Guild. She believes that she's healthy enough to perform. Excuse me, but can you both take a moment to discuss something else for now? The adventurer assigned to your commission has returned.
Sorry, I was just dealing with a little misunderstanding. So, how did your conversation with Furina go?
Fatal.
Sadly, it's a no from her. We tried to persuade her, but she wasn't having it. She doesn't want to play the role for personal reasons.
I see. Well, circumstances have changed a little, so maybe that's not such bad news after all. You see, our leading lady has just informed me that she's well enough to make it to the show after all. Staging the musical with the full original cast was always the dream, of course.
Oh, right! Sounds like everything worked itself out then.
Imagínate si hubiéramos convencido a Furina para que lo hiciera, para que se diera cuenta de que no la necesitan.
Yeah, she'd be livid. We'd get the scolding of a lifetime.
Jeez, is Lady Furina really so harsh with people?
No, hombre.
Only joking, calm down. So, guess we can consider this case closed now, huh? Despite the fact that we failed to complete the commission, we were still racking our brains for ideas on the way back here.
Look, there's no point arguing with you about this anymore. You've made yourself very clear, so I'll stop looking for a replacement. This is the last chance we have, though. If your illness flares up again, there won't be time to find anyone to replace you. So, are you absolutely sure you'll be able to handle it? The whole team is putting everything they have into this final performance. We have to make sure it goes ahead.
Yes, I'm completely confident. I've been taking a new medication from the doctor, and it's working brilliantly. I'll definitely be able to tough it out until the performance day. I share everyone's desire to commemorate all our years as a troupe with a proper farewell show. So the last thing I want is to be left out. Every one of us thinks of this troupe as their home, myself included.
You're right. I'm sorry. I let myself get too worried about the show. I should have asked for your permission first.
All's well that ends well. Sounds like the show will go on.
Espera un momento, Paimon.
Sure.
Vaya por Dios.
Hey, how did you...
Oye.
I was just passing by because I realized I forgot a couple of items on my shopping list.
Hostia, la agarra como muy bruto, ¿no?
Alright, I'm coming. No need to drag me.
No, pero que la estoy agarrando en plan de, joder. Ni que hubiese hecho algo ilegal, por Dios.
Hello, one and all. I couldn't help but overhear your conversation just now.
Furina? Didn't you say you were gonna take a rest at home? What are you doing here?
I was just ever so slightly concerned about the situation you mentioned. Yes, a teensy bit concerned, that's all. When you came to talk with me earlier, I jumped right to explaining my position and said some strongly worded things. And all before I even had a full grasp of the situation. Anyway, I just feel a bit bad about how it went down. I'm sorry, Paimon.
Oh, it's totally fine. Paimon didn't take any of that personally.
Entonces, ¿por qué no has venido directamente?
You really have a knack for asking the most uncomfortable questions, don't you? I felt very sheepish, having had a change of heart after flatly refusing you. And then, to make matters worse, you caught me. But in any case, it sounds like the issue has already been resolved.
Yeah. When they said they were gonna ask for your help, I almost had a heart attack. I mean, how could we be worthy of having Lady Furina star in our show?
There's no need to think like that, and no need to keep addressing me as Lady. Just Furina is fine. I was wondering, if this troupe is so important to all of you, why does it have to disband? If the difficulties are purely financial, then there must be a solution. You could put the shows on pause while you look for a sponsor, for instance. Everyone seems so devoted to the troupe. I'm sure if you keep chipping away, you'll find a way through.
We all want to believe that, but some things are just beyond our control. Everything's been going downhill ever since we lost our director. She was the heart and soul of our troupe. She kept us going.
Her name was O'Reilly, and she was the founder as well as the artistic director of our troupe. And tragically, she was a victim in this serial disappearances case.
What?
That's actually how I recognized these two. It was all thanks to their efforts that the true culprit was brought to justice. But still, no sentence can bring our director back to us.
No, y ni siquiera tienen al culpable. El culpable murió.
She was a loyal fan of your performances, Miss Furina. They were what first inspired her to get into musical theater. She rallied many people around her who were destitute or had lost their sense of purpose in life, and convinced them to join her troupe. She wrote her own scripts, acted on stage, and mentored each and every one of us. People loved our performances back then. We seemed to be going from strength to strength. Things were really looking up for us.
And then disaster struck.
Yeah. After that, the entire troupe fell into disarray. None of us know anything about script writing, let alone how to handle the business side of things. We've been doing the best we can. But despite our efforts, things are slowly but surely falling apart. It's agonizing, but ultimately, we'd rather end things now on our own terms than stick it out to the bitter end and watch all our dreams turn to dust.
Oh.
Qué triste.
What a terrible waste. A gifted artist from humble beginnings, who achieved so much and no doubt had much more to give. And then her life was so cruelly taken. I suppose it's fair to say then that this final show, besides being your farewell to the stage, is also your final gift for her?
Yes, exactly. We all miss her terribly.
Well, good thing I followed the traveler here. After hearing this tragic tale, I can no longer stand by and do nothing.
Furina.
I know what you're thinking, but I by no means plan to cross the boundary I've set for myself. Besides, they're no longer looking for a replacement anyway. I can, however, provide some artistic guidance from the vantage point of a highly experienced audience member. But only if you feel this is something that would help, of course.
Oh, most definitely! We'll take any guidance that you can give.
We unfortunately don't have any budget for a consultant, though. Will that be a problem?
I don't need any compensation. All I'd ask in return, if you're willing, is that you tell me some more about the life and work of your late director. Something I've begun to realize since my departure from the Opera Epiclese is that there's a lot you don't see when you observe everything from on high. The law only judges criminal behavior and does not weigh human emotion. The court's verdict can settle the question of criminal liability, but
¿Y este que va disfrazado tú?
what about all the unresolved emotions of the parties involved? What happens to them?
Puede que el veredicto provoque una catarsis emocional.
An interesting answer. But if you ask me, I think all emotion shall ultimately return home to the heart and slowly settle with the passage of time. Take, par exemple, how this troupe pines for their late director. Things such as this I have never witnessed before, and so I should like to observe, perchance to understand.
Still a fan of your old dramatic monologues then, huh? You just want to get back in on the action, don't you?
No. This is a completely different situation. Pearls before swine.
The name's not Swine, it's Paimon!
Would you be willing to join me? Come on, take a break from adventuring to listen to a story.
Está bien, pero porque eres tú, no te
Thank
rayes.
you all so much. Our director was a huge fan of Miss Furina's performances, as of course we all are. Alright, follow me. We'll go to our usual practice space. Please excuse the size. It's a little on the smaller side.
Vale. Pero ese episodio ya está quedando muy largo y me imagino que si entramos en otra conversación la liamos. Entonces, yo lo voy a dejar aquí, ¿vale? Yo debo decir que, ya que el vídeo está quedando un poquito corto, vamos a alargarlo un poquito como conversación nuestra, ¿vale? Yo debo decir que la misión de Arcontes me sorprendió bastante, porque yo pensaba que al derrotar a la ballena íbamos a liberar a todas las personas que habían tocado el agua primordial. Para que no lo sepa, en la misión legendaria de... O sea, en la misión de Arcontes, la gente que tocaba el agua primordial se convertían en oceánidas. Yo pensaba que al derrotar a la ballena, a lo mejor recuperábamos a todas las personas perdidas, porque básicamente los dos compañeros de Navia también fallecían. Entonces, o sea, yo debo decir que me sorprendió mucho que al final no regresasen todas esas personas. Ese tío, durante la conversación me ha recordado, no sé si veíais la serie, era D'Artagnan y los tres caballeros, o los tres mosqueteros, da igual. El tema, me imagino que la directora era amiga de Furina, por eso mismo Furina quiere saber más de ella. Si os dais cuenta, le ha dicho que estaba dispuesta a ayudar siempre y cuando le contase más sobre esa directora, por lo cual me imagino que la directora es amiga de Furina. O, bueno, antigua amiga de Furina. Entonces nada, espero que os haya gustado, que lo hayáis disfrutado. Y nada, gracias por ver. Adiós.